Hey, it's TR. We're back again. And somebody suggested I should do a video showing all of my Les Pauls. And you know what? I think that sounds like a good idea, and the YouTube guitar community deserves to get what it wants. So, we're going to start with this lowly Epiphone special. This was a Guitar Center doorbuster for Christmas many years back. Best I can record, this is a 2015. So, $109, Christmas Black Friday special. It's been modified. It's got a few changes. I'm going to go quick on these, otherwise this video is going to last forever, so hang with me here. So, the body is basswood, but it has a mahogany veneer front and back. It's in TV yellow. These are not the tuning machines that came on it. The ones that came on it were those absolute diamond covered garbage crap things. These are Guitar Fetish, vintage Kluson style tuners, and they work. Nut, the original nut's long gone. This is a bone nut. Wraparound tailpiece is the original tailpiece, but I have cut slots into it so the strings don't slide around, and to keep the action consistent, to make it intonate, and it intonates perfect. This is a switchcraft toggle. This is a switchcraft output jack. These are CTS pots. There's an orange drop cap in it. There's a Seymour Duncan JB at the bridge. The original pickup is still at the neck, and it works kind of okay. So I left it. Bridge one actually wasn't that bad either, but I just happened to have an extra JB laying around, so it went in here. So there you go. That's that one. Oh, I didn't mention mahogany neck too. So mahogany neck, basswood body, sandwiched behind two mahogany veneers. Les Paul special, heavily modified, originally $109. Okay, so next in line. I'm not going to play all these, by the way. Like I said, I don't want this video to last like forever. This is another Epiphone, and this one is a 2008, and it would have been the standard of the day, made in China. You can see by the headstock, it's not quite to the modern, inspired by Gibson ones yet. It has been, you guessed it, modified. So it's a mahogany neck, mahogany body. There supposedly is a maple cap underneath this gorgeous black paint. These tuners are Gibson branded Grovers with the tulip knobs, so they're the good Grovers. I put those on here. Bone nut that I did. Switchcraft toggle, switchcraft output jack, CTS pots, orange drop capacitor. I changed the knobs out. They had like the hat knobs. I changed them for these gold speed knobs. And a set of Seymour Duncan hot rodded pickups. So it's a JB and a Jazz. And they sound fantastic. And I am a sucker for a black Les Paul with cream plastics. So on to the next one. Okay. So this is another Epiphone, inspired by Gibson, the new headstock. And this one is bone stock as it came. So what do we have? We have the Les Paul Classic. It's got nickel, not chrome, they're like the nickel colored hardware on this, which is kind of cool. Grover Rotomatics. This is the Graphtec, I believe they call it New Bone nut that came on it. It's the Epiphone toggle. It's CTS pots. There is a variety of push-pull involved here. That one doesn't push-pull. This is a phase switch, and these are coil splits for each of their respective pickups that they control. It's a plain top, so it's just a mahogany body with a maple cap done in a plain top. No, not a veneer. It's a maple cap, plain top. They all have maple caps. The ones that have the fancy finishes, it's a veneer over a maple cap. Maple's not an expensive wood, okay? They make cheap guitar necks out of maple. Think about that. Mahogany neck. Of course, it's got the scarf joint and all the other Epiphone appointments. And it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Yes, it does. On to the next one. Okay, so next, got another one that's a little more pricey. This one's a Prophecy. Came with a beautiful case. It's a 2019 gold Grover Rotomatics. It's got graphite nut. It's got the little mix of the pearloid abalone inlay deals there. It's obviously custom. It's got a veneer on the top that is very subtly quilted. You got to look close to see it. I'd actually like it just as well if it was all black, but it's not. These are before they were doing the CTS. You can tell by the headstock it's the older style. So they're just the regular Epiphone pots. There's a little push-pull action going there for some coil splitting. It's Epiphone switch, but what is special about this is Gibson 498T and a 490R humbucker, and they sound Gibson and they sound hot. And yeah, this, I don't know if you can notice or not, we got 24 frets going here. Back of the neck is a thin shred, like a flat D shape, and it's satined. So yeah, that one will do some rocking. On to the next one. How's that for a beauty, huh? So we have another inspired by Gibson, another fairly new one. Let's check the date for you. This one's a 20. The last one's a 19, so this is a 20. Pretty much stock. Gold Grover Rotomatics for tuners. This is a Graphtec Tusk nut. Graphtec nut that came on it. Same old story. I've done it a few times. I got a little fine with tweaking how it was cut, and just wasn't happy with the job I did because I took one of the slots down a little lower than I should have. Again, no buzzing. It played okay, but it was lower than all the rest of them, and I didn't want the least common denominator of all of them being that low, so I just put a new one in, and I bought the Graphtec for this one. Other than that, there's no push-pull. These are CTS pots. These are the Epi Pro Buckers. I didn't mention in the other one, they're not the cherry with the plain top. They're not the Pro Buckers, whatever the other Epiphone pickups are. I can't remember the name, but the ones that aren't the Pro Buckers. And but these are the Pro Buckers, and it's, of course, it's a custom. And originally they had a smaller diamond, and then they went to the big diamond. Steve from Boston had one, and it had the small diamond. He was a little disappointed, and I was thrilled I got the big diamond. Then I found out why. Because when they made the Joe Bonamassa models and tried putting the small diamond on them, he said, no, it's got to be bigger. So they're not going to make two different size diamonds. So we all went to the big diamond, and I got a big diamond on mine. So mahogany neck and body. I don't know if there's maple cap under this or not. I'd have to look up the specs. It doesn't matter because I don't believe in tone wood, so it does really not matter. Ebony fingerboard with the pearloid inlays, and oh yeah, she's a beauty. On to the next. Okay, so this is I think marks the last of the Epiphone. It's inspired by Gibson. It's the one I did the last video on. It's the 59 reissue. It's before those recent custom shop ones that came out with a Gibson headstock. It's what they had come out with before then. Go for like $850, $900. Come with a nice case. They have the satin finish, long neck tenon. The only modification I've done on this one is I put a bone nut on because I thought that was more period correct. Has the laurel fingerboard. That's what I didn't mention. The other ones, obviously the customs had the ebony boards. The classic has the laurel fingerboard, but the older two are rosewood. So this is the Indian laurel, unfortunately. Mahogany neck, mahogany back, maple cap with a flame maple veneer. Could be better flame, but It really isn't the flame in the maple on these. It's the satin finish. I saw a video where somebody refinished one. Well, both refinished and another one where somebody just buffed it out, and it brings the finish out better. So this is the one with all the Gibson electronics as well. It's got the burst buckers. It's got the switchcraft output jack, CTS pots, thumb bleeders, and it's got Mallory capacitors with the old 50s wiring, the vintage tuners, and that fancy little Epiphone logo to show that this is a special one. It is. It's by far the nicest Epiphone Les Paul. It's just it's a small difference, but you can just feel that this is higher quality. So I guess we're on to the Gibsons because people want to see those, right? Sure you do. Okay, we're on to the Gibsons, and these are fun to drag out because they're all in cases. I have cases for a couple of the Epiphone ones, but I keep them out because I play them a lot and they're easy to grab. These, they have the nitro finishes and stuff. I keep them in their cases. So what this was a musician's friend deal. I shouldn't tell you what I paid for these. A lot of these were clearance and sale items. You wouldn't believe what I paid for them. You want me to tell you? I'll tell you. This is back a long time ago, by the way. Let's check. I'll check the date. First and fifth number, because this is before they put the date on. So this is a 2001. 2001. Will you hate me if I tell you I paid $529 and it came with a $50 leather Gibson strap? Don't hate me. So it's slab body. It's not an arch top. It's got tummy cut. How cool is that? It's a 498 T and a 490R. The 98's a little hotter. They're Alnicos. Obviously, the Gibson electronics. It's all switchcraft and CTS. Kluson. Are those Kluson Deluxe? Some of them say Kluson, some say Gibson. It depends on the model year. These say Gibson. These say Gibson Deluxe that are on back here. And yeah, it's just a solid axe. And it's not overly heavy because of the design between the belly cut and the slab top. You can play this all day long and won't get tired out. And it's a good one. Let's go get another Gibson, okay? So here's the next Gibson. This is, believe it or not, a cherry finish. It's a satin gloss. They had a really flat one, and then they had the shinier one. It is the shinier, but it's still, what it is it's got the gloss finish, but without the grain filler, so you can really see the grain. It's supposed to be cherry. Mine's almost brown. I have no reason to offer for the fading other than just through getting old on the count of it sits in the case. It doesn't sit out in the sun, so it didn't get faded. You can see there's not a lot of pieces to the body here. Obviously no maple cap. It's all just mahogany. I assume that last one was all just mahogany as well. Mahogany neck, mahogany body, flat top, and it's the junior special. So it's got the junior pick guard, and obviously again, the standard Gibson electronic, switchcraft CTS kind of stuff. This one is a 490T and a 490R, so the less wild, less hot pickups, more standard. This fingerboard. This was 2012. This is Gibson lost their rosewood, and they've resorted to other matters. You know what that fingerboard is? That's maple. It's what they call torrefied maple, which today we know and love as baked maple. They made it very dark though, but that is a torrefied maple fingerboard. Okay, tuners, what are these going to say? These say Kluson Deluxe, not Gibson Deluxe. These say Kluson. And yeah, I like this one a lot too. And you can see all of my Gibsons have the Nashville bridge, which I like. There's more travel than the Nashville bridge. The ARB one is the one with the little wire, the bale wire thing, like those. And this is a Corian nut. The previous Gibson was a bone nut. This they had switched. They were using Corian, alternate materials like Corian, baked maple board, but still super light, super nice. They all sound great. Okay. Ready for the next one? I'll go get it. It occurs to me, I didn't tell you what that last one cost, did I? I told you they were all pretty much, a lot of them were deals. That one was $539 on clearance. It was normally a $1,000 guitar. They were blowing them out. Don't know why. It was another one of those musician's friend exclusives, and they wanted it gone. So I got it at pretty much probably not much over cost. Okay. This is a Les Paul Tribute that they don't make anymore. And these were good guitars. They're all good. Okay, all these Les Pauls are good guitars. This not quite such a big deal on, but I got it for $809 and the going rate was closer to $1,000. There again, new model year coming out. Want to rid of the old model? I'm like, yeah, I'll sign up for one of those. I mentioned they all have cases. They didn't come with cases. They all came with gig bags because they're like budget friendly. If they could be budget friendly Gibsons, they came with gig bags. So I have various Les Paul cases that I keep them in, hard cases. Some of them are like the fiberboard covered with vinyl, and some of them are the plastic molded. And the next one I'm going to show you, I've actually got my very original Gibson chainsaw case for, which as a side note, the case for that is like $200 to $300 on the used market because they're collectible too. Anyhow, the Tribute. So this year Tribute, oh, it says the year on it now. See, Gibson started putting the year in the back of the headstock. The old ones don't. You got to go first and fifth number. This one, the year's in it, the 17. What they did is after this year, they changed to maple necks. This has a mahogany neck, mahogany body. They changed the next year to a maple neck. What are the tuners going to say? We want to take guesses or bets. They say Gibson Deluxe on this one. Gibson Deluxe, Kluson Deluxe, Gibson Deluxe. What will the next one say? Who knows? It's a looker. It's pretty. So this is a plain maple top, and it has a faux binding because there's a reveal. You can see the edge of the top against the mahogany. I'm trying to decide if they stained it the same color as they did the rest of the mahogany, and it's just lighter because it's, or if it's stained. I think it's stained the color of the burst. That's what it seems to be. Again, all the usual Gibson stuff. We got perloid here. This is a hunk of rosewood, by the way, a big thick slab, and this is when the rosewood was in short supply. Where they got it from, I don't know, but it's rosewood, and it's a synthetic nut. It's Graphtec, basically. And of course, I told you that the tuners, all the same electronics, Switchcraft, CTS, you know. Pickups on this one are a 90R and a 90T, so the more standard. One I'm going to show you next had the hot ones, and the black one had the hot ones. The older ones seem to have the 98s in them, and more recently have gone to the 90s. Well, recent, you want to call 17 recent. That's like, what, 8 years ago still. This thing's great. This thing is absolutely... I see why they quit making them, because this is way too close to a standard. This is a standard without binding. $809. Next one coming up didn't cost much, but I paid full on retail for it because this is going to be the one that's 33 years old coming up next. So this is the one I got some comments on. J-Man said if he had a guitar that he had that much money in that was sitting around not getting played, he'd have it on a marketplace in a hurry. Yeah, I don't play it a lot, but I take it out and fondle it a lot, and I do play it some. It just I I play it for a little bit and then put it back. I pull it out probably, 3-4 times a year just to make sure the neck is where it should be, and all the things are adjusted right and that it all still works and everything. This is a 1992 Les Paul Studio. The story for the early 90s studios, especially 92, 93. The story was a person on a forum who claimed to have worked for Gibson said the studios had gotten so popular. Originally, they were a means of using the less attractive pieces of wood, the ones that might have a knot or a problem or whatever. They were going to have a painted finish. They were going to have a plain, used to have dots on the fingerboard. I think at one point they even had open coil pickups, so they were simpler. He said they ran out of necks, bodies, and stuff, so they started grabbing whatever. To corroborate that theory, a long time ago on the internet, I did a lookup with the serial number on this to find out what I could about it. Supposedly you give them your serial number, Gibson, and they would tell you about your guitar. Well, according to the serial number for this neck, it's supposed to be an SG. It's not an SG, is it? Lends credence to they were just grabbing whatever. So maybe this neck was supposed to go on an SG. I don't know. But it's on a Les Paul now, and has been. There's no binding. But this particular guitar has gotten to the point that minus the binding, this is a Les Paul custom. End of discussion. It's got the 14 karat gold plated hardware. That's what real gold plated hardware looks like. Not the stuff you see nowadays, and especially not that Firefly stuff that's gold colored, whatever, that's not electronically conductive. This has the 98T and the 90R, and obviously all the Switchcraft and CTS. Any one of these I have ever seen, ever, has black knobs. Mine has gold. I've never found one online with gold knobs. I thought I found a picture of one time on a forum, and it was mine. I'd posted it. So, okay, let's find out what the tuners say on this one. This is going to be the deciding vote. I believe they say Gibson. They're so shiny it's hard to read it. Yep, Gibson. The gold is blinding me. Yeah, so I do play it some. Jesse suggested that I play it. It's not fine wine. It's not getting better with age. And he told me the story of a Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar that he didn't play forever. And then when he decided to play it, the pickups had rusted out. Well, now this comes out for a brief play several times a year just to make sure it's okay. All the Gibsons do. But they're certainly not my daily drivers. On the Spinal Tap, Nigel with a guitar, it can't be played. Don't touch it. It can't be played. Don't even look at it. That's sort of this one, but this is the one that I highly suspect is really pearl. I'd have to do some research to see if they were still using mother or pearl back then, but I'm thinking so. For one, it is very three-dimensional. There's a lot of movement in it. For two, it's got a rougher feel than the pearloid. And for three, it has yellowed with age. Might be my imagination, I don't know. Obviously it's an old boy here, so it's got a bone nut. And these old ones, I have strap locks on these. These old ones, you'd pull out that bottom pin and it would have a giant screw in there. So I had to dowel it and re-pin it so I could put the strap lock on. But I wouldn't play a Les Paul without strap locks, God forbid. And anyways, that's the beauty. And as I said, this is a custom without binding. That's the point they had got to. Ebony fingerboard, all the gold on the hardware, all the same electronics and parts, made in the same factory by the same people. It just didn't get the fancy multiply binding. Other than that, or the diamond on the headstock. And the big thing where Gibson wants you to know you are a cheapskate. Silkscreen, not pearl. Gibson. What did I pay for this? I paid $750 for this back in 1992. However, that is what they cost in 1992. You could buy a standard for about $1,000 back then. They've gotten a little more expensive. So I think that's all the Les Pauls I got. You don't want to see my Firefly Aldo Nova Les Paul. I'm talking real Les Paul. So Epiphones and Gibsons. Whereas the very first one I showed you is the cheapest of the cheap, but you know, a little work and it's a player. So yeah, this is the one. It does come out every now and then. It's, like I said, in mint condition. And these are up into the low teens right now, what they're going for. You got to pay attention to the year. You will find studios selling used for like $700-800. You will not find an early 90s one for that price. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.